Right, another beautiful morning here in Greece. This morning, I see three boats that come in. I went up above the hot springs in Efteru, and just off the hot springs, a couple of 100 meters, was the Coast Guard rescuing a load of people. And the boat, obviously, half the boat was sinking. They almost made it, a few 100 meters more, and they would have made it to shore. Anyway, fair play to the Coast Guard again. They're doing a great job. And later on, when I went into Molivos to get some water and food and stuff for the refugees, I see the Coast Guard. He had all these people on the front of his boat and everything else, and there he was out in the middle, and there's another boat out there. I couldn't really see properly what was going on because my binoculars are not that fantastic. Anyway, I would like to say one thing first before. I'm not going to make a long video this time, I'm going to make it fairly quick, but there's a couple of things that really has come up in the last 24 hours. I am a great believer in free speech, don't get me wrong. I really believe that everyone should have a say. And, these people that shout loudest, if they really are convinced they're right, then fair play. I'll sit and listen to them. I really will sit and listen to them. And I think most people would listen to people like this if they're really convinced of what they say is right. Now, this is about the fascists and racists here in Greece. You don't realise how much damage you're doing. You don't realise that the press is picking up on all your stuff, and they're not picking up on all the millions of Greeks helping and doing their best and everything else and sharing their food. They're just picking up on this very small minority of fascists and racists. My own personal opinion, if you're really convinced, you're purebloods, you're these guys, they're pure blood Greeks, they're Spartans or whatever, they're really pure blood Greeks. If you are really convinced that what you're doing is right, this is my own personal opinion, if you're really convinced what you're doing is right, then surely you should all go for a DNA test and make sure there's no one within your ranks that has Turkish blood or English blood or something like that inside them. Because you don't know that the guy you're emailing, because most of you are talking on the Facebook and everything else and email, you don't know the guy you're emailing is not half Turkish or not half English or whatever nationality. You want a pure Greek, pure blood organisation, you fascists and you racists. Because you are the people, you are the men, you're the men of this land, you're the pure Greeks. Then you should all get a DNA test, and you should share the DNA test amongst each other. So you are all pure. Yeah. Then when you got an organisation like that, people might listen to you a bit better. Yeah. In my own personal opinion, you're doing so much damage to tourism and everything here in Greece. You're doing a lot of damage. I think this organisation that is left once you've cleaned up all your ranks and you've cleaned up this stuff that shouldn't be in your ranks, then I think it'd be better for you to help Greece, if you're really convinced, you're going to do your best for Greece, to help the homeless Greek people and to feed the homeless people and make your organisation something special, to help the land of Greece, the soil of Greece. This is Greece, and you right wings and you fascists and racists, this is what you believe in, the soil of Greece. So come on, clean your ranks up. Then you might get more people listening to you once you clean your ranks up, and once you've all had a DNA test and we know who's who, and then try and help the people of Greece. Stop trying to make yourself big bully boys in Greece and everything else and getting all the publicity and destroying all the work of the good people of Greece. Okay, that's all I've got to say. Well, I've got one more thing to say. Thank you very much for all the Greek people that came in last night after all the abuse we've had on the internet from certain parties. And, these people that want my family dead and everything else. And, thank you very much. Some of the organisations that came in, some of the people that come in, they're quite concerned, and I say thank you very much. I will not bow down to this filth and this disgusting people. I will not. I wouldn't bow down to it in my own country, and I won't bow down to it here in Greece. And I've been here 16 years, and I really think Greece is my home country. My daughter was brought up here as a baby. So I will not bow down to these people, and I don't think anyone should bow down to these people. These people should be put up in the limelight. Let's see who they are, and let's sort them out, you know. So, but I really believe you all need a DNA test, all of you, and clean out all the shit in your ranks. It's what you call shit. I wouldn't call them shit. I call them human beings, but you call them shit. Okay, so clean up your own ranks first. Then what's left of you? Then maybe people will think, well, these are the pure Greeks, and so. Okay, that's over and done with. We're going to leave this one post on Facebook, because, you know, what the guy writ about my family and everything else, I think is absolutely disgusting. This is not Greek behaviour, and I would really like this guy to have a DNA test first, because I guarantee he's half Turkish or half British or something, okay? Right. So, the other thing I would like to say this morning, I'm not going to do very long, because it takes so long here, the internet connection, 10 hours to get these videos on. But, we're talking to a lot of refugees. You know, this morning there's a lot of, the group we spoke to this morning was Afghanistanis, and they were hungry. God, they really were. My wife and I, we ran into the local supermarket, and we got the ladies' towels and things, and we got Pampers for the babies. There was quite a few babies this morning. We got water, croissants, apples for the children and stuff. But they were really hungry. I mean, I don't know what happened, and there was quite a few that did speak a little bit of English, but it wasn't, you know, perfect. But my wife, you know, she looked after the ladies and everything. She was one lady there was speak pretty good English, and they've had a pretty hard time anyway. Anyway, I think things are changing here. I'm not too sure, but they were told by the Coast Guard this morning to go up and catch the bus. But the problem there, a few of them only had lira, but I'm sure the Molivos Association will you know, go up and speak to them at some time today and help out. I know there is a little bit of finances there, and I'm sure, you know, we gave them breakfast and everything. I'm sure they'll look after them if they're there for the rest of the day. But they were told by the Coast Guard they could catch the local bus, which is a fantastic thing, absolutely fantastic. Whoever made this decision, fair play to you. You know, I'll give you all my support on that one. Right, I had an email from Ahmed. I mentioned Ahmed the other day. He's in, I did say the Macedonia, but I meant he's in the Yugoslavian Republic of Macedonia, not the Greek side of Macedonia. So I really apologise if I offended anyone when I said he was in Macedonia, and I didn't say it's the Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. I know these things that are going up there would never happen here in Greece. So anyway, I told you the other day that he said pray for us, we're in hell. Anyway, yesterday morning we got another letter off him and said the men came into the camp last night and they raped all the women. God, what sort of people we could become. You know, these women, they've lost their husbands. They mostly watched them being beheaded. They've got their children with them. They've got across Turkey. Some of them have been abused by a little group of police officers in Turkey. And I mean a little group. It's not all, you know, Turkish police are doing the best they can. But obviously in all walks of life, you have horrible bloody people. Anyway, I'm hoping they will sort that problem out on their side. But then they get here to Greece, and believe it or not, we've had a lot of emails, and everyone that comes back said they were really looked after here in Greece. Even though they're in bad camps and everything else, they said the people of Greece have really looked after them. And that's what Greek people is all about, and that's what I keep saying. You know, and when you hear it come back, it's fantastic. You know, when they get to these places in Europe and they say, you know, they come back in email and say, thank you very much. The people of Greece really looked after us. They looked after us all the way up, you know. Fantastic. Keep the good work up. But these women, you know, they come into Greece, they have a good time. Well, not a good time, they're getting their paperwork and everything else, and they're being fed by the people and everything else, and their babies are given clothes and everything else, and they think, God, you know, they've really got out of this terrible situation and all the horror they've seen, and they've got their children out. And then they get to Macedonia, the Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and the men there rape them in front of their children. Fuck. You know, the politicians of Europe, the UN, and people like this, what do we pay you to do? We pay you to make people's lives easier. We pay you to sort these problems out. We know they're massive problems and everything else. And you say, oh, we can't sort all these problems out and all the bullshit you come up with, you know, but you can fill your back pockets and fill your bank accounts quite easy. and you can hide it when people find out about it. But these refugees up through Europe, I know for a fact now, Greece, they're looking after them. The people of Greece are doing a fantastic job, and they're looking after them the best they can in a very hard situation because the Greeks have no money. But when they're going up through Europe and they're getting abused, and the UN and the politicians are all sitting in their seats doing nothing, and these are human beings, you know, you've lost contact with reality. You politicians and bankers in Europe have lost contact with all reality. You sit in your big yachts and your big cars and fly around in your Learjets, and there's women and children being raped, there's people being beheaded, there's so much going on in the world, and most of it you created. And yet you can't help them. Yeah? Something really has to be done. Something really has to be done. And I noticed Spain in their local elections today. Fair play to you, Spain. Good one. Keep going. They're becoming more left, and they want to sort the problems out of Europe. And they know that the politics in Europe has to change. I watched one man, the Spanish guy this morning, said the politics in Europe must change. He's 100% right. They need to change. Yeah. This time will go down in history. Believe me. In 50 years' time, 100 years' time, all this crap is going to come out. And we know who these horrible people are. And your names will be up there in lights, you know. And we know all the good people are and the good countries are that looked after these people and everything else. But, you know, when I was a boy, you used to see about all the taxes back in the 18th century and men going around beating up people for taxes and stuff like that. You know, and it's big history in England. And it's mostly big history around the world of these people beating up people for taxes and murdering people and everything else. But the same's going on now. Yeah. And it shouldn't be. We are 2015. We are not 1815. We are 2015. Yeah. Okay, that's enough because I can rattle on all day. I really want to put this thing about the women being raped in the Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. Men going in the camps raping them all. And I really want to say to the fascists and right wing, do what I say. You know, then you have a pure society, and then people might listen to you a bit better. So all go and have a DNA test. Okay, that's all I got today. Thank you very much for all the support I got last night. All the great people that come in and said, Eric, do you need help? Do you need this? Do you need that? And some of them telling me about the organisations here, which I did know a little bit about because we have been here for 16 years. And these people, these small organisations, are doing so much damage to Greece. And, you know, get your act together. You know, try and help Greece. Let's get out of this problem. Don't sit there behind computers slagging people off and slagging this off and slagging that off. If you're really sincere about what you're doing, feed the Greek homeless people. You know, help the Greek people out that need it. Okay, because a lot of you people, you have big businesses, you know, these right wing. I know we have right wing here and that, and they have hotels and things like that. I've never got my head round it, where they have hotels and things, because they're making all their money and they're feeding their families off of foreign money. So I've never got my head round these things when these right wing, these big bosses of right wing, their businesses are tourism. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, something wrong there, isn't there? You know, I mean, if they're really convinced what they're doing is right, I mean, the last thing they want is feed their family from tourists. So, anyway, thank you very much to everyone again. I'll keep you updated, and I hope. Well, thanks to the Coast Guard this morning. I was watching them this morning. They've done a great job, and you know, the women and men on those boats are doing a fantastic job. They really are doing a great job. This situation is going to get 100 times worse. I was told by we actually got our first reporter yesterday came, and he's been here for 3 days. He's been in the camps and everything else, and the Greeks have given him permission to go in the camps, and they're not trying to hide everything. Everything's open to him, and fair play to the authorities there to let everything be open. But he's our first reporter, and I hope he carries on doing a good. He'll go back and report. He was a French reporter, so, and I hope he reports about all the good work that people are doing here. And I know he will. He seemed a really nice guy. I forgot what I was going to say just a minute ago, but anyway, thanks very much. Goodbye.